What's going on, Boiler Nation? It's Tuesday, September 28th, 2021. You're listening to another brand new episode of the Boiler Breakdown podcast. I'm Tanner Lee, along with my co-host, Evan Webb, who's coming from us from the great state of Illinois. I'm sure a lot of the Illinois people are not happy with us Purdue people tonight as the Boilers kept the cannon by a great score of 13-9. What's going on, Webby?
I'm not sure that was a football game. I mean, it was football, but I'm not sure it really, that really counted as a football game.
It was one of the uglier, if not the ugliest, Purdue win in football I can ever remember.
Yeah, I was trying to think of back to another game, especially one being there in person of a game that was just a slugfest for all the wrong reasons, and that at least the ones that Purdue came out on top. And I could not think of one that was, maybe a game in the Hazel era, maybe. I know the game at Illinois that we won was a game-winning field goal, but I think that probably had more scoring than this game did.
Yeah, this is definitely the lowest scoring one I can remember. I mean, as you were talking, I was thinking some other ones in my head. Ricardo Allen's pick against Indiana State in the second Hazel game, era game, that was 20-14, I want to say.
Yeah.
Danny Hope in first game 2011, mid Tennessee State blocked a field goal. Those are pretty ugly games too, but this was ugly in the sense of just not a lot of scoring. But I thought the Boiler defense showed up ready to play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you really couldn't ask for much more. The fact it is Illinois, but you still held a Big Ten team from scoring a touchdown. It was all field goals, which is pretty impressive. The second time in the season that we've held a team to no touchdowns in the game.
First time we've done it against a Big Ten opponent since 2007.
Right, and that was against, was it Northwestern? No, was it Iowa?
I honestly don't know off the top of my head.
I know I heard, I think Tom Dienhart say that, not Kyle Charles, but I think it was somebody from Golden Black, and I'm already forgetting who said it and what team was.
Alan Karpick, maybe?
Yeah, I think it might have been Alan. But yeah, the fact that you hold a team to no touchdowns is pretty remarkable. You just wish that the offense could have repaid them a little bit more.
Right. And we'll get into that here in a bit. But let's talk about the injuries. Let's hit the injuries. We were laughing.
2019 again.
We were laughing before the game that on the entrance video, about every player they're showing was out.
Right. And yeah, because you had Bell, obviously, you had Horvath, you had, I think, was King DeRue in the video too? I think he might have been.
Payne
Corey
Durham.
Trice, Payne Durham.
Who would get hurt during the game.
Yeah, Corey Trice was featured heavily. Yeah, it was, it's just reminding me a lot of, was it 2019?
Yeah.
Where it just seemed like every week someone else is going down. So not sure what's going on in the football department over there.
It's just life of being a Purdue football fan. Yeah. Guys go down and they're never the special teams guys. It's always the key players. During the game itself Saturday, Payne Durham goes out with what we now know is a concussion. He's in concussion protocol. Same thing with Branson Dean.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like DeMarcus Mitchell got banged up. Not sure
he was kind of hobbling a little bit.
Just, the hits just keep coming, and it's like, when's this Purdue team get a break? Because eventually the depth's not going to be there.
Mm-hmm. We're already kind of seeing with the running back position. I liked, what Downing and Cross did, but it wasn't much. Part of that too is the offensive line, but it's get to a point where it's just, you're basically just a one-dimensional team, and you can try and run, but when you're getting 1-2 yards a carry, it's just not going to cut it. Dillon or Downing was averaging 3.9, and Cross was averaging 1.7. So
yeah. It makes the defense. It makes you so easy to defend. They can bring the safeties or not bring them up, keep them back, and not bring them up because they're not playing the run. It eliminates the deep ball. Notre Dame did it. Illinois did it.
And Dillon's longest run was 9 yards. That was the longest run, and Jackson Anthrop also had one run for 9 yards as well. So that was the longest run of the day for Purdue, which is sad.
No, it's amazing they won with that. When you pull out a stat like that, this offense is made for big plays, and they're taking away the deep ball, like we said. And I think that's why they haven't announced it to the public Jeff said they were going to announce it internally today who the quarterback is. That's why I think Aidan O'Connell will be the starter on
I think so
Saturday,
too.
because Jeff's made the comment he's the most accurate passer on the team. And if you're going to be one-dimensional and going to have to pass a lot, might as well put your most accurate guy in there. Yes, he does throw more picks than Jack Plummer, but I also think he might force it a little more than Jack, but he takes those shots, and that's kind of what we need right now.
I mean, yeah, it's what we needed. I mean, the biggest roar of the day until the touchdown was with the 40-yard pass to Abdur, or was it? Yeah, it was Yassine who caught the pass. His first catch was like 43 yards or something like that. I mean, that was the first shot we've taken probably in the last 2 games that was over 20 yards, probably, if you had to guess. And it was because it was O'Connell. I think he just gets the ball out much quicker. I mean, part of that too is he can't. I mean, he's a statue back there. But I mean, if he gets it out quickly and he's accurate, I like both quarterbacks. Obviously, I like Plummer a little bit more. But I mean, as of what we saw, we're not sure if the play calling is different or what's different, because obviously the offense just moved a little bit differently and better with O'Connell. But I mean, I just want to win. I don't really care who's back there.
Exactly.
Just stick with it.
I think the play calling, it could be a little different, but I see a lot of people out there on the message boards, saying that it's a lot different. I don't think it's a lot different.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be amazed if it is, but I know they went with Jack, want to be more mobile. We didn't really even see Jack. We haven't seen him use his legs too much.
I don't know if I want him to use his legs all that much because I'm afraid that he's going to get hurt.
Yeah.
But I think also with Jack, I know we kind of talked about it too at the game. I think maybe Jack is maybe just a little bit too afraid to make mistakes. I mean, he hasn't thrown a pick this year, which is great, but he also really hasn't thrown many touchdowns either, or hasn't really done much in terms of taking chances down the field.
Right.
And I mean, obviously it's great not throwing picks, but we can't. You have to move the ball, and we weren't doing that against Illinois, which is one of the worst defenses we'll face all year. Probably the worst defense we'll face from here on out, for sure.
I think you're right. And Jack looked good at the beginning of the game. That was mostly with the scripted plays, or what I presume to be scripted plays. Then after the first quarter, he had 11 yards. I mean, I think a change had to be needed to happen just to give the offense a spark. But now it'll be interesting to see how O'Connell plays, presuming he starts. Will he be more conservative like Jack is? That's one thing with 2 quarterback or rotating quarterbacks back and forth. The guy's always looking over his shoulder. He's scared to make mistakes. That's why I've never been a fan of it.
Right. I mean, we kind of saw that a few years ago with Blau and Sindelar. Yeah, and it seemed like one of them always played better when the other one was for sure out with an injury or whatever, because they were kind of able, felt free, and they knew the guy. I'm not even sure who the third string, it might have been or I think Plummer was probably at one point was the third string there. But yeah, I mean, that guy wasn't going to come and take your job. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I hope he still just kind of goes out there and slings it, because Lord knows we need it.
Yeah, I mean, Minnesota got to take away the deep ball. You got to hit those intermediate passes then. So I could see some trickery coming out, Saturday, and I know a lot of people, us included, we want to see more trickery, but with the lack of depth with the offensive line, I just don't know if you can get a lot of trickery in there.
Yeah, I mean, you have to let those plays develop, and our plays don't have much time to develop, it seems like.
Yeah. So got a text question here from Adam Bartels, a Full Steam Ahead podcast. Thoughts on some Austin Burton RPO packages? I
mean, why not? I mean, I thought we'd see Burton. Obviously, we saw him against UConn in mop-up duty, but yeah, I'm surprised we haven't seen him throw in there at least once. I don't think we've seen him besides that game.
No.
So, I mean, yeah, I'd like to say just to change something up, or just even if it's just 1 or 2 plays, not saying us to play the whole second half, but yeah, do something.
I agree. I agree, and not to see him at all so far. I wonder how far behind he is from the other 2 guys from a passing standpoint.
Right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I have no idea.
I was getting texts from some Purdue buddies on Saturday, like, how about Alimo? He looks the part. I'm like, he's 4th on the depth chart. Like,
right.
I don't
he's
think
4th
he's
for a
going to be
reason.
seeing any playing time. I mean, I don't see practice every day. The coaches do, and you got to.
He didn't even attempt to pass with him in the UConn game, so maybe that's a little. I mean, granted, it was like the end of the game, but that's a little telling too. Not even letting him get a chance to throw the ball, even in a an absolute rout of a game.
And I have to laugh at all the fans already concerned about who's going to be the quarterback of 2022. I'm like, I don't care about 22. I want to win 6 games. I want to go to a bowl game, put the quarterback in who gives us the best chance to win.
Halfway there.
Yeah. And everybody's complaining.
Right.
which I get it. It hasn't been the
100%.
prettiest.
Yeah.
But especially last game. But before the season, we were saying after 4 games, you got to be 3-1 at the worst. And here we are, 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, in Oregon State, they went on, and I know USC's got a little turmoil going right now. They smacked USC the other night.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard one of the ESPN talking heads say he thinks that Oregon State's the 3rd best team in the Pac-12.
Obviously very far behind Oregon. But
and one of the other talking heads said, but they lost to Purdue. I'm thinking that's a fully healthy Purdue team, though.
Right.
Week 1. Get some of those guys back.
It's a different team.
Exactly. If we can somehow escape this weekend with win over Minnesota and be 4-1 going to the bye, I'll be ecstatic.
Because then you look at games like, Northwestern, Nebraska, Indiana. If we beat Minnesota, you're just looking at 2 of those 3, and then maybe still. I mean, that's
I still throw Michigan State in there.
Yeah,
I know they're 4-0 and they're ranked top 20.
That maybe we may be not favored in, but something that's not like a world beater. Like
maybe Wisconsin. For the first time since 03, they look vulnerable right now.
Yeah, I mean, we say that
I know
like every couple of years.
We only had them down 14, Webby, 2 years ago with or 3 years ago with like 6 minutes left or whatever.
Right.
But no, I like I said, as bad as the offense played for a while, they made the switch to Aidan. He eventually leads the game-winning touchdown to TJ Sheffield. What do you think about his flip in the end zone?
Loved it. I didn't realize it was on purpose at first. I thought maybe like he was, just diving just to, get there or something. But then I saw the replay. I was like, oh, he just straight up pulled a Robert Marv and flipped into the end zone.
Well, I was a little nervous that a flag was going to come out.
Right.
Because they threw one on DJ Knox in 2018 for sliding in a puddle against Eastern Michigan.
Right.
They throw it on some stupid stuff. I remember back, I think it was 2011 against Notre Dame. We got blown out, but somebody on defense high-fived a kid in the end zone after incompletion. They threw a flag. So I was really kind of surprised they didn't throw a flag. Glad they didn't, but
the inconsistency of Big Ten refs.
It's awful. It's awful. And I get, the Payne Durham hit wasn't helmet to helmet. It was a clean hit.
I thought that was a clean hit. I mean, I know people in our section were not happy about it, but you and I were both like, oh, that was a clean hit. I mean, as soon as we saw the replay.
Let's be fair. We have some people in our section not happy about anything.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to section 129.
Yes, 121. I will not give out a row. But
I thought it was when it first happened. I thought it was for sure a targeting. I thought there's no way. With the way his helmet just popped off, I was like, oh, that's for sure. Like, how can you not throw a flag? And I saw the replay. I was like, oh, that was just a really good hit. But it's unfortunate what happened to Payne. It sounded like he got really rocked there. But
this is a team he wants to go against this weekend.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's big time.
After what happened last year. But I don't know. I'm not optimistic. I haven't read any reports today on any updates.
I think with concussion, it's always like last minute because things can change day to day. From just my understanding, I've never gone through concussion protocol for sports, so I would not know anything like that. But it sounds like it's pretty day to day. And yeah, I know we kind of talked about it last week. We didn't really. Well, I guess we probably needed David Bell more than we thought we would.
Oh, absolutely.
But this would be nice to get somebody back, whether it be Rice, Durham, or Bell. Like maybe who do you think is the most likely to come back? Do you think Rice is maybe the most likely to come back this week?
I would say Bell.
Bell, okay.
Yeah, I know he got rocked, but usually concussion seems like it's got to be really bad to miss 2 weeks at the college level. But it could be. Definitely want him to take his time with that, and definitely with the bye week coming up next week. Mm-hmm. Then he goes against his favorite, Iowa. I know Iowa fans really don't want him to be back for that game, but it sure would be nice, like you said, to get any of those guys back. It's a bummer to hear about King Doru. It sounds like his season could be in jeopardy with a non-COVID related medical condition. That makes me think heart related.
Yeah, kind of flashbacks to Jay Simpson back for basketball when it was kind of. That was obviously more serious than the fact that it happened, during a game. But yeah, obviously that's scary stuff, and you just feel for the kid because he's a top tier athlete and something you can't even control takes him
Right.
out. But yeah,
Right.
hopefully he's okay.
But defense side of the ball, we said Branson Dean got banged up. DeMarcus
Which
Mitchell,
I think he got hit by one of
I
our
think it
own
was friendly
guys.
fire a little bit there.
Yeah.
DeMarcus Mitchell banged up, but there was some guys who played really well. George Karlaftis got strip sack. I mean, he's George doing George things out there.
Did you see that? I think it was a photo still of him being literally triple teamed.
Yep.
And just
I watch him a lot on the defensive
Same.
plays, and he at least got double teamed every
yeah.
play, and you have to. I mean, if you take him out, Purdue hasn't proven that they have any other pass rushers that can make up for it. But I will say, I thought Lawrence Johnson was awesome.
I remember calling his name, giving praise during the game quite a few times. So it's nice to see him play well. And Brown was awesome in place of Trice. I mean, that was
2 games in a row.
A big worry after Trice went out. Is we knew the lack of DB depth, and I thought he stepped up big time.
And Jalen Graham's playing at all conference level right now.
He's a monster. Yeah, he's an absolute monster.
Yeah, if he keeps it up this year, next year, he's got a chance to play on Sundays, I think. Which Purdue's had a good little pedigree of putting linebackers in the league the last few years, and they're all playing pretty well. Well, I don't know how much Marcus Bailey's playing, but I know Bentley's been playing a lot for the Patriots, and then Barnes is playing a lot for the Lions. So, but defense, they're surprising me every week.
Yeah, I mean I know the bar was set pretty low from last year, but I mean this defense is by far exceeded my expectations so far this year. Just the fact that they're not. I mean, I thought some of those things where we're probably gonna have to win games, 35, 32, or 38, 35, something like that. But I mean, the defense is playing pretty. I mean, we haven't been playing the top tier talent, so we'll kind of see the next couple of weeks, how they stack up truly. But I mean, you held a Big Ten team to no touchdowns, and that's not an easy thing to do. Obviously, they're definitely getting worn down there at the end. You can tell. Still have no idea why Bielema decided to punt that one possession.
I'm glad he did.
I'm glad he did too, but it's just like, my God.
He and his dinosaur offense.
Yeah, but we were big fans of the new coaching changes on defense, and it's definitely paying dividends right now.
Sure is. And special teams, I thought had a good day.
Yeah, Ansel did pretty well.
I thought that was
definitely more consistent. Yeah.
Yep. So good to see that. So Golden Gophers coming into town. I think it's going to be a pissed off Minnesota team. They were 31-point favorites over Bowling Green, a 1-2 Bowling Green team coming into Saturday, and lost.
Not only did they lose, but they scored 10 points?
10 points. Now their best receiver was out.
Okay.
I believe he is back this week, but
crap.
And Tanner Morgan is a Purdue killer. He's 3-0. I think he's combined for 799 yards in those 3 games, 6 touchdowns, 1 interception, if I'm correct. But he's had Rashad Bateman and I always forget the other guy's name. He's on Tampa Bay. Johnson.
Yeah.
Johnson the year before. 2 NFL caliber wide receivers. So they're without their running back. Their stud running back, Ibrahim. He's out for the year. So they don't have the firepower that the Minnesota teams of the past few years have, because Flex got Brahms' number at 3-1.
Saying the 1 year we got him, it was that crazy storm delay that delayed the game for about an hour, and then we picked 6 it to
Juwan Bentley.
To seal the game.
The Joe Tiller game, because we threw throwback helmets with the Joe sticker.
Yep.
So, which I want to say once again, I know we're getting away from the game a little bit now, but love the throwback uniforms, the Rose Bowl season uniforms.
I was getting a little worried because I think we wore them last year agaast Northwestern, and got beat. And I was like, oh my God, if we get beat with these things again, like we can never wear them ever again.
It's like the now we've made them good in basketball, but the big dog ones.
Yeah.
When I remember a few years ago, we wore them and lost to Michigan in the Big Ten tournament, then lost to Little Rock wearing them.
Yeah.
Burn them. Never wear them again, but we've won plenty of games in them since.
Yeah,
so,
that was just. I know we kind of mentioned it earlier. I think I texted it to our group chat with some buddies, but it was just like, it's just funny, or kind of funny, kind of sad that we had the 2000 Rose Bowl team there. One of probably the best offenses Purdue's seen, probably definitely this century, and scored 13 points.
Yeah, but hey, it's like Drew Brees told the team in the pregame video. It's going to be a battle every week.
Absolutely.
You're going to have to win games different ways and find ways to get it out. That was just an example of it. I mean, like I've been telling all my Purdue coworkers this week, hey, an ugly win beats the alternative. beats
Oh
or
yeah,
loss, no matter how
as much
pretty
as
the loss
as
is.
much as that win sucked,
Yep.
losing that game would have been. I mean, you and I were kind of like sitting there talking. It was like, if we cannot lose this game
No,
because this would have been, I mean, season over. I mean, if you
no,
can't
you
beat
don't get the
Illinois,
6
no,
wins without beating Illinois,
yeah,
and I think the crowd will be good for homecoming. The crowd was
mm-hmm.
good Saturday, over
Crowd was awesome.
52,000.
Yeah,
The students have been awesome the first 2 games.
yeah. I was really worried that we'd see a lot of students leave at halftime just
Yeah.
because. I mean, I wouldn't blame them. I mean, it wasn't the most exciting. I was not having fun. Being
No.
the second game back at the Ross 8 in over a year and a half or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, they stuck around and it was awesome. It was
Yep.
awesome to see the turnout.
Yeah, and Jeff Brom even said he kudos to the fan base. He's
Mhm.
talking about how great the fans have been. So hopefully,
It's not like they show up early too, which is awesome. The
Yeah.
students show up like whenever the gates open, they're filling the stands.
hopefully do it Saturday. It's our first nooner of the year, Big
Mhm.
Ten Network, but it is homecoming. Gets to go first 2-2. We'll do our prediction here in a little bit, but let's go around the rest of the league real quick. Unless you had anything else you want to say about the game from Saturday.
Nope, burn the tape, move on.
Yes, that's well said. We got a Friday night Big Ten action. 2 undefeated teams. You got number 5 Iowa on the road against 4-0 Maryland. Iowa's only a 3.5-point favorite.
I mean, prime time for an upset. I mean, Friday night games are weird in the Big Ten. You never know what's going to happen, but I'm still picking Iowa. But I think it's going to be a touchdown or less. I'm still picking Iowa.
I'll take Iowa by 10.
Yeah.
Iowa's defense is elite, but their offense just doesn't score a lot of points.
Right.
Spencer Petras, he needs to get it going a little more.
Mm-hmm.
Illini, we've talked about the Illini in depth here. They have a home game against 3-1 Charlotte. Illinois is 11-point favorite.
Oh man, if they lose this game, that's
They could.
They could. I'm still gonna pick Illinois. I mean, their track record hasn't proven to make me feel any better, but I'm still gonna go with the Illini. I think they might have gotten some confidence from this last game, being able to hang with Purdue. But
Charlotte beat Duke week 1 by 3, then beat Gardner-Webb by 28, lost to Georgia State by 11, and then beat Middle Tennessee last week by 3.
I didn't know Gardner-Webb had a football program.
I didn't either. I'll take Illinois by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Interesting one here. Number 14, 4-0 Michigan at 1-2 Wisconsin.
And Wisconsin's favored.
Yeah, by a point and a half. By a point and a half.
I've got a point on the ESPN app. I have not. I mean, they've lost to 2 good teams.
Sure.
Penn State and Notre Dame. But
Graham Mertz has been awful.
He's been awful. And I mean, I haven't watched any Michigan this year, but I assume their defense is probably pretty decent.
And they can score points this year.
Yeah.
They haven't played great teams, but it looks like they can actually score.
I think I'm going to pick Michigan as much as I want the West to do well. But,
screw Wisconsin. Let's get them out of the West race right now.
Yeah. But I think, I mean, 1-3 Wisconsin, oof. That's,
no.
I mean, again, all 3 really good teams, but still, yikes.
No, I think I like Michigan here to win. This might be Harbaugh's best chance to go get Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
Best chance to date.
I mean, especially with the way that Ohio State hasn't been lighting the world on fire like we've seen the last couple of years. Yeah, right. I mean, is that game? Do we know if it's in Ann Arbor, isn't it?
The Ohio State one. Let's see here. I think you're right.
Yep, it is.
Yep. Speaking of Ohio State, they're on the road to Rutgers this weekend. 15-point favorites. Rutgers suffered their first loss of the year by a touchdown to Michigan.
I'm going to pick Ohio State, but I'm going to say they don't cover. I'm going to say Rutgers keeps it close.
I'll agree with you. I think Ohio State wins, but Rutgers does keep it close. I think Shiano's going to get them to a bowl this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's impressive the turnaround he's done in the short amount of time in Piscataway.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting matchup here. Northwestern they did get the win over Ohio, so they're 2-2. They're at 2-3 Nebraska, but I got Nebraska as 11.5-point favorite.
Same. Nebraska's played well the last 2 games. They've lost, but they hung in there with Oklahoma, unfortunately, and they played Michigan State pretty tough. I didn't watch the game, but it sounded like they could have won the game, judging by some friends of ours who are Nebraska fans and kind of what they were saying on Twitter. I think Nebraska covers. I think they're gaining confidence.
I agree. I just don't think Northwestern's very good. And
No.
I had predicted them to go 8-4, but and even in my head, I'm like, they've lost a lot, but Fitzgerald's a good coach. He'll get them on track. They don't usually have bad season too often, but they're just not very good.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if Nebraska loses this one, the heat's back on for Frost big time.
Oh
again.
yeah. That would not be a good. That'd be a terrible loss.
1-2 Western Kentucky, who almost pulled the upset against Indiana. At 4-0, number 17 Michigan State, who's 11-point favorite. It's safe to say Sparty's the most improved team in the country.
Mm-hmm. I think you're right. I really liked watching West Kentucky play.
Oh, that was fun. They swing the ball around, man.
Yeah, I like that little quarterback. But I think Michigan State, I think they cover. I think kind of like what they did against Indiana, they're just going to be outmatched.
Yep.
And Michigan State have just talent-wise. But yeah, I think Michigan State covers that.
I do too, and that would give Michigan State one win away from becoming bowl eligible. I had them in my preseason prediction win like 2 or 3 games. What do I know? Why do I even host a few podcasts? I have no idea. Indiana at 2-2, they go on the road at Happy Valley, 7:30 night game on ABC. Gets number 4-0 Penn State, who is a 12-point favorite.
And Penn State's probably going to remember that game last year.
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope they do too. I mean, Penn State had that game won. All the stats pointed to them winning, and had the running back not scored too quickly and just taken a knee, and they could have melted that clock. But this Penn State team's pretty good, and I think they cover that. I'm hoping about a 21-point rout.
Yeah, I hope they smash them. I like Penn State as well. Thad Mooney, who I want to give a shout out to Thad. He made this sign behind my head, this boiler breakdown sign for us. Really appreciate that, Thad.
That's awesome.
Contact Thad for any wood signs you might want made. He said, Lions roll. I hope you're right.
Yeah, night at Happy Valley is just something different.
It is. It's not going to be a whiteout, but still, doesn't matter. It's still a tough place to play. Did you know Purdue played in the first ever whiteout?
I did not know that. I heard you say that, I think, on another one of your podcasts, and I was like,
student section only in 2004, and I do remember that game. That's the only time we've ever won at Penn State with Kyle Orton.
Yeah,
but I didn't know that was the first ever.
Because that was the game that set up the fumble game.
Yeah,
because we were 5-0 after that game. Yep.
Right. So,
yep. Good times, good memories.
Great memories. Well, before we predict the Boiler Minnesota game, let's go around the top 25 a little bit. The game day game. Number 8, Arkansas. They might be the surprise team of the country.
I think they're the surprise team right now. I mean, they were basement dwellers in the SEC, but still.
I made fun of the Sam Pittman hire. Once again, what do I know? They're number 8 in the country. They're at number 2, Georgia. So number 8 against number 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Georgia's 18.5-point favorite.
Yeah, that's just.
They're good.
SEC's stupid. I hate it.
It is, isn't it? It's just ridiculous.
I think Georgia rolls in this one.
They're pretty darn good. I think they and Alabama are on a different level than everybody else.
When do they play? When does Georgia play Alabama?
SEC championship.
Oh, that's right. They're not in the same division.
Right.
Oh, man. That would be. Ooh.
I'll say Georgia wins, but by like 17. So Arkansas, the backdoor covered late. Yes. Louisville, 3-1. I always kind of root for Louisville to have a winning record. So stay away from our coach.
Right, yeah.
Not saying they're going to come after our coach right now, but another surprise team here. They're at 4-0, number 24, Wake Forest.
Didn't we play Wake Forest in like
7-point favorite.
2005? Didn't we play Wake Forest like 2006?
We played them in a home and home.
Yeah.
We lost to them in 2002 at home and beat them in 2003 on the road.
Okay.
Yep.
I remember playing there on NCAA football.
Yep. We have a home and home schedule with them in the future too.
Love to see it.
Part of the alliance.
I'm gonna say Wake covers.
Yep. I'm right there with you. Give me Wake.
He's on ESPN3. I would be pissed if I was a top 25 team playing on ESPN3.
That's some disrespect. At least put it on the ACC network or something.
Right.
It's funny. The ACC, everybody was talking about Clemson, Miami, and North Carolina coming into the year. Boston College and Wake Forest are undefeated.
Right. And Clemson's, their season might as well be done. They lost 2 games. They're
right. They're not going to make the playoff for the 7th straight year. So
right.
If you had Clemson or if you had Wake Forest and And Boston College being undefeated on your 2021 bingo card. Doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Big top 10 matchup here. Number 7, Cincinnati Bearcats at number 9, 4-0 Notre Dame. I got Cincy as a 2.5-point favorite on the road.
Yeah, which is surprise. I was not impressed with Cincy when they played Indiana. Maybe I could have been my hatred for IU blinding me and just not admitting that IU was good, but I was not impressed with their quarterback for most of the game. This is going to hopefully be a good game, but I think Notre Dame pulls it out.
I think Notre Dame wins a close one.
Yeah.
Then their schedule eases up a bit, and then we might have to start hearing about them potentially making the playoff again.
Yeah.
Their defense coordinator, Marcus Freeman, knows Cincinnati very well.
Yep.
He had spent a good amount of years there before going to Notre Dame. I think you're right, Webby. I don't know the stats of Jack Cohn, but I don't think it matters. I think Notre Dame wins a close one.
Mm-hmm.
Hope I'm wrong.
Being at Notre Dame, it's a tough place to play, obviously. And I mean, Cincinnati went to a sold out, Memorial Stadium, but this is going to be a lot different. A lot of the same fans, but
they're just going to reverse their jacket to blue and gold or green. Yep.
But yeah, that'll be as far as it's a 1:30 game, I figure they might try and push that to a later game.
Right. Thad Mooney here says since he was trash, wasn't the hatred blinding you, Webb?
Yeah, I figured I was on to something.
They could have been down about 28-0 early in that game.
Yeah. I mean, the targeting penalty that took out McFadden was huge for them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, their quarterback I was not super impressed with.
Number 6, Oklahoma, 4-0 at number 3 or at 3-1 Kansas State, who was previously ranked, but Oklahoma State beat them. Oklahoma's a 10.5-point favorite, but they need to wake up.
Yeah.
They almost lost to West Virginia and Nebraska the last 2 weeks.
I'm going to say they cover. I don't know much about Kansas State. Obviously, they're 3-1.
Yeah.
But
that's a tough place to play. I mean, Kansas State's a pretty solid program year in, year out. But this is one, if Oklahoma doesn't wake up, they're going to get beat.
Yeah.
But I do think they wake up. I think they cover as well. I think Spencer Rattler has a good game. Number 3, Oregon, 4-0 at 2-2 Stanford. And Oregon's only an 8-point favorite in this one.
And Oregon's pretty dang good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think they cover that on the road.
Yeah, Mario Cristobal is doing a good job there.
Mm-hmm.
I think they cover as well. David Shaw is one you look at. It's like he should have went to the NFL when he could.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Number 12, Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin's boys are 3-0. They travel to 4-0, number 1, Alabama. Alabama's a 14.5-point favorite.
I did not realize Ole Miss was 12th.
Yeah.
Wow.
Started the year about 25th, I believe, and they moved up to 13th. There's been 25 teams ranked inside the top 25 lose already this year.
Wow. I mean, Alabama's on another stupid level. I think they roll in that one.
I never can go against them at home.
Nope.
Even against the spread. So I agree.
But I mean, Kiffin against his former.
Yeah.
I mean, he was the one who Saban credits kind of made Saban kind of open his eyes to having a more explosive offense. But I mean, the Alabama boys were a little bit different.
Saban loves getting the big name coordinators. Look, Bill O'Brien's his office coordinator now.
Right.
So who I think he'll be a coach somewhere soon.
Maybe Matt Nagy will be his offensive coordinator sometime soon.
You Bear fans could hope. He could be here in about 5 weeks if things don't turn around.
They won't fire him mid-season.
Probably not. Number 10, Florida, 3-1. They travel to 4-0 Kentucky. Florida's an 8.5-point favorite. I'm like, oh, Kentucky must be pretty good. Look at their schedule. They have played, let's see here, Louisiana Monroe, Missouri, Chattanooga, and at South Carolina. And they beat South Carolina by 6 and Chattanooga by 5, Missouri by 7, Louisiana Monroe by 35. So give me the Gators easy.
Yeah, I mean, Gators, and that's going to be Florida lost to Alabama. That's right.
By 2.
They were.
Or 3 or whatever. Yeah. So,
I mean,
they gave them everything they wanted.
Yeah, Gators roll in that one. How do we know? How's Wan'Dale Robinson doing this year? Do we know?
I do not know. I have not checked his stats. Probably pretty good.
Yeah.
I know he's happy to be out of Nebraska where he doesn't have to carry the ball anymore. Thad Mooney says Alabama coordinator's career rehab center. That's the truth.
Kidding.
That's the truth. Remember Butch Jones was like a special quality assistant for them a couple of years ago?
Right.
Now he's at Arkansas State.
Yep.
Butch Jones. Here's a good Big 12 ranked matchup. 4-0, number 21 Baylor at number 19, 4-0 Oklahoma State. If you don't like defense, this is the game for you. Oklahoma State's 3.5-point favorites. And Mike Gundy, he's a man. He's like
50 something now.
54, I believe.
Yeah.
That was earlier. It was the last week was the anniversary of that back in 07 when he's 40. So yeah, 53, 54.
I can't believe that was 07.
What a great rant. I love that rant. But
I think
give me the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Give me the Cowboys.
Yep.
Mississippi State at number 15, Texas A&M. Texas A&M is a 7-point favorite. Mississippi State, man, talk about two brutal losses in a row. They lose to LSU by single digits this past week, and then the week before, they got hosed by the refs so bad at Memphis. Oh my gosh, that punt return thing was ridiculous. I mean, you had one ref doing this, signaling the play's dead. No whistles are blowing. The guy picks up the ball, runs untouched. Oh my God! If I was a Mississippi State fan, I would just blow a gasket. But give me A&M.
Yeah, give me A&M in the cover.
Boston College at number 25, Clemson. First time Clemson's been out of the top 10 in ages. Clemson's a 16-point favorite. And Boston College is 4-0.
Yeah, I don't. Who's Boston College played? For that Clemson to be a 15, 16-point favorite versus
Boston College has beat Colgate,
Missouri.
Massachusetts at Temple, Missouri. So not very convincing.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna say Clemson wins, but they don't cover.
I'm gonna say Clemson covers. I think they're gonna be very angry.
Yeah,
but this offense cannot score points.
No.
I'm gonna
Is this the quarterback that came in a Notre Dame game last year?
DJ, and I'm not trying to pronounce his last name. I'm going to say a Tiger wins this game. Number 22 Auburn, 3-1 at 3-1 LSU. And LSU's 3.5-point favorites.
Man. I'm going to ride with Bo Nix in the upset. I mean, we can count it as an upset, I guess, just from the betting line. But
Bo Nix is 5-8 in his career on the road / neutral games. I think he goes 5-9. Give me Coach O and the Tigers.
If Auburn were to win, does Coach O is he on the hot seat, or is he already on the hot seat?
I think he's already on the hot seat. Isn't that crazy? I think he's got to get Gene Chizik. He's going to get Gene Chizik 2 years after he wins the title. See ya.
Which is just the insanity of SEC football.
If anybody was to ever win a title at Purdue, build them a damn statue, name the stadium after them. They don't have to win a game for the next decade. We won't care. We'll still be
the statue better be up the next day.
Yeah, you're not kidding. I mean, build it during the game, for God's sake. A matchup here between two former pro coaches, 3-1 Arizona State at 3-1 number 20 UCLA. UCLA is 3.5-point favorites.
Mine with the home team, Chip Kelly's team, cover.
I like the Bruins too. I think they cover. And lastly, I like this team a lot. Number 18 Fresno State at 2-3 Hawaii. Fresno's only a 10-point favorite, but Fresno State's got a quarterback that, I mean, he probably won't win the Heisman, but he's got to be a dark horse right now. Jack Hayner, I believe is his name, how do you pronounce his last name? He's completed 136 passes of 186 attempts for 1,842 yards, 15 touchdowns, only 2 picks. That's through 5 games.
Sling it.
He can sling it. Hawaii can sling it too, but give me the Bulldogs in the cover.
I agree.
So back to the game we all care about the most. Minnesota at Purdue, 2-2 Minnesota, 3-1 Boilermakers. Purdue's a 2.5-point favorite.
Obviously, I'm picking Purdue.
Yep, me too.
I'm trying to figure out how much. I think, it's
I'm
going to
going
be a close one.
28-27.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
I was going to say like 28-24 we cover, something 27-24, something we cover, but barely.
Yeah,
I hope we can score in the 20s. I guess, I hope we can score in the 20s.
Well, come on, defense, force a turnover. I know you're playing good. We're praising you, but only 2 turnovers forced, and one of them was late in the game against UConn. Mm-hmm. It's time to force some turnovers, which we should have had one early in the game.
Yeah, we forced a couple fumbles. We just haven't recovered one yet.
Right.
Grant was right there. I
Right.
think just the way he was on the ground. But yeah, you got to. I mean, games like this, those are going to matter a lot.
Yep. Get some pressure on Tanner Morgan, for the love of God. At least
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Brom was asked Monday about the RPOs, because if you remember, in 2019 we made Tanner Morgan with the RPOs look like Joe freaking Montana.
Yep.
Yeah, gosh, I'm sick of that guy. So, but yeah, I think the Boilers somehow, some people step up to the plate, next man up. They get out of this one 4-1 going to the bye, and every fan would have taken that before the season. I don't
100%.
want to hear anybody say no, 5-0. Yeah, shoulda,
Yeah.
woulda, coulda. So, but neither of us will be in attendance, but we'll be watching.
Yep.
So we'll definitely be watching. So let's talk some hoops real quick, shall we? Today
Absolutely.
was the official first day of college basketball practice,
which is insane. I mean, I know, like,
here we are.
We're already here. I mean, I feel like the season literally just ended, and maybe just because of we've just been so excited and just kind of taking as much content as possible with the guys playing U19 USA and whatever may be, just videos from practice over the summer. But I mean, I feel like the season just ended, and I mean, I'm super excited for the season, as everybody else is, and as they should be.
Yep. It sounded like there was some guys banged up in practice today. Jaden Ivey rolled an ankle, but says he should be good to go by Thursday. Brandon Newman did not practice, wasn't even present at most of the practice. Got to have his foot evaluated, but Brian Newbert of Golden Black said the coaches didn't seem too concerned, but foot injuries always scare me.
Yeah, as we saw last year with some of the guys.
Yes, and we know Caleb First is going to be battling a foot injury all year. That will probably need off-season surgery after the season's over. But I did like the reports on a lot of the other guys. It sounded like Ethan Morton looks sharp. Isaiah Thompson, they've raved about all year, all off-season, I should say. Mason Gillis played some 3 in practice today. I thought that was interesting.
Which obviously we know that he's going to miss the first 6 competitions, like 4 regular season games to the 2.
The exhibition and the scrimmage against Providence, which I didn't know about that till Painter said that on John Rothstein's podcast.
Yeah, which I mean, because obviously they probably didn't do those scrimmages last year just because of
good point.
COVID. So I kind of forgot about it and think they were going to do them again just to be as safe as possible. But
we usually do them against West Virginia. It seems like because Huggy Bear and Painter are close and practice against the press.
I think we did Providence.
I think you are right, though. I think
2 years ago. Yeah. I think we were. Yeah. I think it's kind of we were doing West Virginia for a while, then we switched to Providence. I think it just depends on what Painter's looking for and obviously who can do it. But
yeah, and there's no we don't play in the GAVA games this year.
Correct.
So yeah, don't have to worry about that. And it would have been nice to scrimmage West Virginia though, because Florida State I think likes to run some press defense.
Yeah, Florida State's as we saw a couple years ago,
we've played it. We play them like every other year. It seems like. Them in Tennessee.
They pressure the ball the whole length of the court, and they're usually super long, athletic, and which historically does not bode well for Purdue. But hey, I mean this team. I'm interested to see what happens with this team because Painter's not going to play 10 guys. He's even said like he's not going to play 10 guys. He's going to play at some point probably close to season 7-8 guys, and it's going to be interesting to see who gets lost in shuffle. Yeah, which hopefully, I mean, you worry about attrition, but I mean, in today's day, it's going to happen. You just got to accept it. And
it's easier than ever to leave.
It just sucks when we literally love all of these guys, even the incoming freshmen. It's like we'd hate to lose any of them,
right?
But it is what it is. I mean, obviously, the good thing is there's so many great players that the ones who do play the most, obviously, they've earned it, and so hopefully that bodes well for the season.
Right. But looking forward to the season. We'll have more in depth when we get closer. We'll have our preview episode and everything, and hopefully our other co-host Andrew Eiler can join us for that one. He's busy with a thing called work. Right, that gets in the way a lot of times of fun things.
Yep.
But we're hoping to have him back next week, and hopefully we'll be recapping a big homecoming win over the Gophers, and then we get to relax during the bye week.
Mm-hmm.
But anything else, Webby, you want to add tonight? Anything I'm missing besides Purdue's volleyball team being ranked 4th now? I want to mention that.
I mean, a hell of a win over Ohio State.
Yeah.
clean sweep over IU over the weekend down in Bloomington, which makes like 14 straight years,
That's
which I did not
crazy.
know about. Which is, I mean,
That's domination.
it's not even a rivalry at that point. It's kind of yeah, that's crazy. I mean, just what Shondell is
Basketball's
doing.
gonna be there soon. We're making our way
I
up.
hope so. Yeah. I mean, Katie Gerald was introduced as the new women's head coach over the weekend.
It was time.
It was absolutely time. But I mean, on the football front, I mean, we were hoping for 3-1. We got 3-1. The kind of what we've seen over the years is Brahms lost some games that he shouldn't have, and we haven't had that yet. We've beaten the teams we should have, and even though it haven't been the prettiest games, but hopefully that's progress, and hopefully said we can figure it out on Saturday, and say getting the 4-1 would be going to a bye would be I feel like the team should have an all-time high of confidence.
Yeah, get some guys healthy.
Yep.
So because we need some guys, just a couple of them, just get a couple of them back.
Yeah.
So, but no, I don't think I have anything else besides letting all the fine folks know who this podcast is brought to you by, and one of those sponsors is Mad Mushroom. And of course, Mad Mushroom's been serving Boilermakers since 1993, and they're located in the heart of West Lafayette, and they're well known as the home of the original cheese sticks. But whenever Evan or I visit, we like to sit down and have an ice cold beer while trying out their latest pizza of the month, which this month is, and you only have a few more days to get it. It is the Zesty Salami. It's their buffalo zing sauce covered with salami, mozzarella cheese, and cheddar cheeses, and finished with an Italian zest drizzle, served with a side of ranch. So if that sounds good to you, which I had pizza tonight, but I can always eat more pizza, make sure to tell them the Boiler Breakdown sent you for $5 off any order over $20. Any Boiler Breakdown listener can also use the coupon code BREAK5, that's in all caps BREAK5, to claim your discount online at madmushroom.com. Mad Mushroom, feed your head. And speaking of discounts, Webby, why don't you let us know what the fine folks in our newest sponsor, the Shop's, got going on? And I am rocking a Shop t-shirt tonight.
Same here.
Finally, I finally got one. So
there we go. Looks good. Got the old gold.
I like it.
Yeah, so the Boiler Breakdown is brought to you by The Shop. The Shop has been bringing sports and hometown apparel to the fans since 2011. From our humble beginnings in garages and basements, you can find us at our 2 retail stores and online. We make comfortable shirts. It makes us happy. The Shop is located in Carmel and Indianapolis, as well as online at theshopindy.com. We make the best shirts, period. Next time you're shopping online, use promo code BREAKDOWN for 25% off your order. Great set of shirts, they do things, not obviously anything Indiana
drinkware,
sports drinkware. Yep. They just released some I thought it was pretty cool, some neighborhood shirts for the Indianapolis area. So if you're in the Indy area and live in Broad Ripple or Meridian, Kessler, the area, they've got shirts for that. They just released one with The Office, and they've got a license for, which is awesome.
Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, man, I wonder how they got the license for that.
They've got they've got. I mean, if you haven't checked out the interview that I had with Alex, one of the co-owner, you can go back in our feed and find that interview. It was a great interview. But yeah, these are licensed shirts. It's not just these knockoff shirts. They've got licenses with Purdue, Indiana, Butler, the Colts, I believe,
Ball State,
Colts,
Pacers,
Indiana State. They do things like Indiana Parks. They do some retro clothing. They do stickers,
and
hats.
They give so much back to the community too.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's awesome. Great retail stores. If you're in the Broad Ripple area or the Carmel area, they're up at Clay Terrace, and then they're in downtown Broad Ripple. Awesome stores. Obviously, you can shop online. Good people. Great social media presence as well. They're funny online. Yeah, good people.
Yes, sir. All right. And let's wrap it up with 2 Boiler-owned and operated sponsors. And one of those is Webb's Family Pharmacy. Webb's Family Pharmacy is an independently owned community pharmacy with stores located in Rochester, Akron, and North Manchester, Indiana. Be on the lookout for flu shots. It is getting to be that time of year. Flu season's coming up. Be on the lookout for them offering flu shots. Simply call to set up an appointment, and their friendly and caring staff will be happy to help you. For all of your high-quality medical equipment, supplies, and pharmacy services, check out their website, www.webrx.com, or give them a call. Webb's Family Pharmacy, professional pharmacy with a hometown touch. And you know, Webby, I was out mowing my grass this afternoon. First time I've mowed in 3 weeks. About half of my yard still didn't need it. It was dust, but the other half did. And I'm looking around like, man, my landscaping looks like trash. Well, if yours looks like mine, give Strofe Landscaping a call. Strofe Landscaping has been in business for over 50 years and can handle all of your landscaping needs, including landscape design, maintenance, irrigation, hardscaping, fall cleanup, and they are licensed lawn applicators. Contact them today for all your landscaping needs at 574 223 2769. Strofe Landscaping, design with you in mind. And it looks like we got a comment here from Big Time on YouTube. It says, crap, I'm late. Excited for O'Connell. Bring on the gunslinger, better fit for this offense. We don't care if you're late. We appreciate you tuning in. So I'm excited to see 16 back there slinging it as well. I like both quarterbacks. I like him. I like Cactus Jack Plummer. But I think, assuming they are going in the O'Connell direction, I think that's the right move to pull the trigger on for Saturday.
100%.
So any final thoughts before the Boilers take on the Gophers on homecoming on Saturday?
Let's sing Flex Boat.
Yes.
About time we do it.
Yes, it's long overdue. Should have had them last year. Did have them last year. The refs gave them that game. Hopefully we get some guys back between Tuesday night tonight when we're recording this and by kickoff on noon Saturday. And if not, let's just eke out a win somehow anyways and get them healthy next week during the bye before we go to Iowa City.
Yeah, this is one of those games where it's kind of a, kind of shows your stature in our division. It's one of those teams that we're trying to climb to get up to that upper echelon of the Big Ten West, and it's just so it's always I always like playing Minnesota because I think it shows a kind of really good gauge for where we are as a program.
Yep, I agree 100%. And like you said, we're in a lot of recruiting battles with them.
Yep.
So let's boiler up, hammer down, and be like Carl on Caddyshack and go get that gopher.
Boiler up.